Alright, I've got a short passage called There is Something Wrong with My DVD Player today. Alright, there is something wrong with my DVD player. I put some DVDs that I rented yesterday in the player, but any of these don't work or doesn't work well. The problem seems to be with the player, not DVDs themselves. Alright, so let's go ahead and get right into this. There is something wrong with my DVD player. Alright, perfect. Just like the last person said. I put some DVDs that I rented yesterday in the player, but any of these doesn't work well. I put some DVDs that I rented yesterday in the player. Okay. Hmm. They put the same thing, or what's happening here? Alright, well. Oh, okay. Alright, so this guy just wrote it down in the comments rather than rewriting the sentence. Alright, so this sentence is exactly like that one, so it's still incorrect. So let's go ahead and address it. Okay, so let's see. First part of the sentence, I put some DVDs that I rented yesterday in the player. Um, hmm. That's fine. But I would put some commas around like this. Some DVDs that I rented yesterday. Since that I rented yesterday isn't really needed. We don't really care that. Well, I shouldn't say that. The sentence doesn't really care that the DVDs were rented yesterday. They just care that some DVDs were put in the player, right? But um, but you want to say that they were DVDs that you rented yesterday, right? And so that would go in this little blip right here, this little insert between the commas. So I put some DVDs in the player is the first part of your sentence. This part is just an addition, so it goes between the commas. Um, it's almost like parentheses. Like I ate some eggs today. Whoops. I ate some eggs today. And then you might put like some 4 eggs. Right? Something like that. Now that's not really like something you would do in an essay or anything, but you might do something like that in just a passage to your friend or something. Um, I put some DVDs that I rented yesterday in the player, but any of these doesn't work well. Okay. So in the player kind of sounds a little bit weird. I'd probably just say in the DVD player. Just repeat DVD player. But any of these doesn't work well. Okay, so you need to change any to none. So any um, hmm. All right, so since not one of them, I'm assuming that not one of the DVDs worked well. Um, so that means that you need to say none. So any means like it means you have 10 items, and the one that works could be any of those 10 items. So one of those 10 items, or even more of those 10 items could work, right? But you're saying that none of them worked. So you need to change this to none. But none of these I would I put some DVDs. Okay, so these would be would be them. All right, but none of them worked. Hmm. Okay, so you don't need this doesn't. If you want, you can change this to don't and put not and put all the DVDs that I put in didn't work well, that would just this will be a better way to say it. So, but none of them, since it's past tense, worked well. But none of them worked well. But none of them worked well. But any of these doesn't work well. Yeah. I think that would be the best way to say that. Well, one of the best ways. I may leave an optional way down here at the end. The problem seems to be with the player, not DVDs themselves. Yeah, alright, so this one. Yeah, so this one all you really need is the. Not the DVDs themselves, and that's perfect. The problem seems to be with the player. And right here, you could optionally say DVD player, and it wouldn't sound wrong. Since in English we bring up the topic all the time, that would be kind of normal. But the player, that we don't really refer to DVD players as the player. It just kind of sounds a little off. We would just say DVD player. It's only three letters more. So rather than say something like that sounds a little weird to us, we would just repeat the topic, because we like to talk a lot more in English apparently. Alright, well, I guess I'm done with this. I'll leave you some comments and maybe some extra ways you can say some things, but I'll be done with the video now. Thanks for watching, and I hope I was able to help.